So today I'm about to show you how you can start your own clothing brand. I'm talking about building your own empire instead of MOPR, making other people rich. Now, I know there are many people out there that have been interested in building their own brand, but I also understand that the idea of this can be overwhelming, especially when you're trying to figure out where do you even get started. And there's so much information out there that you kind of get confused and lost. So that's why today I wanted to come to you and pretty much lay out the foundation from experience, because my husband has actually been building his own clothing brand. So I want to walk you through some of the steps that he has been taking so that you can get started too. What's up, guys? This is Monique and welcome back to the channel. I am back with the news that you can use, but first, if you are new here, hello, bonjour, hola, aloha, konnichiwa, wagwan, shalom, assalamu alaikum, jambo, ciao, namaste. So let me tell you, in 2022, the global clothing market made $1.5 trillion. Yes, I did say trillion and not billion. And over the next few years, it's actually expected to increase to $2 trillion. So that's why I'm trying to give you these steps today so that you can get a piece of these trillions of dollars. And so when it comes to you building this clothing brand, the first and most important thing that you're going to have to do is actually come up with a brand name. I know that sounds simple, but it's so important. Why? Because your brand is not just a bunch of letters or a label. It's actually going to be what defines you, what represents your values. It's going to be the first impression that you make on your customers. It's actually going to be what sets you apart from other companies. Think about some of the big brand names that you hear, like Nike, Gucci, and Adidas. When you say each of those names, they each give you a different feeling. There's also a different style that's associated with each of these, yet they all still are very powerful. So getting the right brand name is going to be a top priority. And to help you with that, I came up with an acronym that's called BRAND, so that you can make sure that name checks off all of the boxes. And the B in BRAND is going to stand for brief. You want something that's kind of short but memorable. You don't want to name your brand Hakuna Matata 123 clothing, because people won't remember it when they go and search for it. The R is for reflective. What do you want your brand to represent? What is the meaning behind the words that you choose? You want to make sure you spend some time on that too, because you know what we call a thing, that's what it's going to be. Now the A is going to be for authentic. You want to make sure it's something that your audience can relate to. Yes, it's important for it to have your values in it, but people buy things because of how it makes them feel, because of what they get from it. So you always want to have your audience in mind when you're creating this brand name. And the N is going to be for name availability. You want to make sure that you find a name that is not already trademarked that someone else is using, because of course we don't want to be sued or get in trouble. And you also want to make sure that name is available across all social platforms, from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even Snapchat. The brand Nike is known as Nike everywhere. They're not Nike 001 on Instagram and N_IKE on Facebook. Don't be like that, y'all. Get something that's available across all platforms. And a D just stands for distinctive. You want something that's unique. Again, you want to make sure you're not using stuff that's like other people, because you don't want to get lost in other people's brand. Now, my husband's clothing brand is NIE, and NIE actually stands for New Identity Evolution. And I'm wearing one of his designs now, as you can see. But he came up with this name because when he was 12, he had a stroke and he had to learn how to walk again. He had to learn how to talk again. He pretty much had to get a new identity. And so he knows there are other people that are struggling out there, and may not necessarily be from a stroke, but just in life in general, and they are looking to create a new identity. So that's what the meaning behind his brand is. So if we look at all of those boxes, it checks off. Really easy to remember. NIE, it reflects his values, but it also is for the people too. And that name is available and is also distinctive. So make sure you're taking your time with this, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm spending so much time on this because it's important. When you have an online store, one of the best options for you when you are picking a domain for your brand is going to be using a .store. So it'll be whatever your brand name is, .store. And the reason that is going to be really big, especially as someone just starting out, is because when you use .store, it will help you to sell more.
Having a .store can help you to drive 87% more traffic and increase your visibility by 2x.
And you'll find some of the biggest names using .store, like Rihanna. Rihanna has Rihanna Rihanna.com, but when it comes to selling her merchandise, she actually uses Rihanna.store. There are other big names that use .stores as well, like Demi Lovato, Shakira. There's also the former First Lady of the United States that uses a .store, Michelle Obama. Jay-Z uses one, Maroon 5. There's tons of people that use .store when they are selling their merchandise. Now, if you go down to the link down in the description or go to get.store and you use the code Hinton, you can actually get your first year of your .store domain for only 99 cents. So make sure you go and secure that now, because you don't want anyone else getting access to your brand name. I'm trying to hook y'all up with all of the good deals. But after you figure out your brand name, the next thing you want to do is figure out your brand style. And there's so many different types of clothing that you can sell, from streetwear to athletic wear. You can do a luxury brand, work wear, preppy. You can do minimalist. You can do a kids brand, or even sell plus size clothing. There are so many different niches that you can choose from. But again, this is important because when a person says your brand name, the style of clothing also comes to mind. When you hear Louis Vuitton, you think luxury. When you hear Nike, you think athletic wear. And that's actually the style of clothing that my husband decided to go with, because he's actually a coach. He's coached for a while now, so he wanted to lean into something that he knows, that he has experience with. And so he decided to go with building a brand around athletic wear. Now, the next thing we are going to do on our journey to building this clothing brand is to create a logo, and I'm going to show you a free way that you can do that. However, let me let you know, if you do not have any kind of design experience, you feel like you're not an artistic type of creative person, you can always go somewhere like Fiverr and you can hire someone to do it for you, and they can create logos for your clothing brand for as low as $5 or $10. So don't stress over, I don't know how to create stuff, I don't feel like I'm creative. You can get somebody to do it for the low. But if you do want to create your own logo, you can use something like Canva to do it, which is absolutely free. You can go into Canva and you can search for clothing logos, and you can see what type of templates they have, and you can kind of tweak it and play around with it. Or you can start from scratch and you can go and look at the different graphics that they have in there. You can add different words to it if you want to. Like I said, it's all going to depend on your creativity and what you want your brand to express. But my husband came up with his own logo. It's something that he created for free through Canva. I can't really tell you too much about how exactly to create your logo, because that's going to be personal to you and to your brand and what you want it to represent. But I can tell you the different styles of logos that you can go with. There are wordmark logos, and these consist of your name in some kind of stylized font. There are lettermark logos, and those are similar to the wordmark, except these use the initials of the brand. There are icons or symbols, and just like the name says, that's what it represents, some kind of graphical icon or symbol that represents the brand. And then there's combination marks, and those combine both text and a symbol. So you can just decide what type of logo you want to go with, and the world is yours. But just know that your logo don't have to be over the top, and you don't have to put too much into it if you don't want to, because think about Nike. They just have a check. H&M, they literally have an H&M. Gucci has 2 G's. Chanel has 2 C's. But when you see them, you know who they are. So that's all. You just want it to be something that represents you and that'll be memorable to your brand. And Calvin decided to do a combination, but sometimes he goes with just the letter mark. Sometimes he goes with the word mark. It'll vary depending on what he's putting his logo on, and that's going to be the same for you. You may decide to go with all of those logos. So now we are about to get into what I feel like at least is the fun part, and that's going to be creating the designs. What do you want your clothing to look like? And there are so many different things that you can sell, from shirts to hoodies to pants to shorts, and you can add your design to it fun different ways. Now I'm going to give you some free tools to help you to create your designs, but again, if you are not creative, if you don't feel like you're artistic, you can always hire someone to do this. You can can go to the same place to Fiverr. They have people on there that's $5, $10, $20 that can create your designs and give you some mock-ups, which is going to be important later when you are getting your manufacturers and getting the people that's going to produce your designs. And my husband was actually lucky in this area because he has a friend that's a designer, and so he got together with them and they both work on creating designs for his company. He's actually working on several other different options other than the one that I'm wearing today. So a lot of people actually do get designers to help them. But on the other hand, people like to create their own designs too. And some of the free tools that you can use to do that, one is called Brand Bible. You can go to this site and you can download some free mock-ups. And they have tons that you can choose from, again, depending on what you are trying to design, whether it's a hoodie, whether it's a shirt. You'll just click into it. You can go to the colors that you're looking for and you can download the front and the back of it, the side of it. You can download the whole thing. And then from there, what you'll do is go to a site like Photopea, which is again free, is the free type of Photoshop. And you'll be able to create a new project and you'll upload those mock-ups to it. And then you can come in here and you can start designing however you want your hoodies or your shirts or your pants to look. You can add that logo that you created in Canva. You can add different other elements to it that you can search for and download. Like I said, I can't really tell you much how to do this part because it's going to be specific to what you are creating. But I did want to give you some free tools that a lot of people are using when they are designing their products. So at this point, we can move on to creating our online store. And in 2020, if I have not learned anything else, it's definitely that you should be selling online. So what Kelvin is using is Shopify. That's actually what a lot of people use when they are selling clothing or different things online. And right now, Shopify has an amazing deal where you can get a 3-day free trial. So you can just play around with it first and see if this is something that you like. And on top of that, you can get your first month for only $1. And I have a link down below that you can click on to get access to that deal. So make sure you get that and don't miss out. And you'll be able from there to design your store however you want. If you don't feel comfortable with creating your own store, then you can just get someone to do it for you, like Start Stores. This is a website that offers custom Shopify stores and turnkey drop shipping stores. They basically make custom stores related to your brand. They can pretty much make custom websites or service websites for any kind of business. And according to their website, they have completed and designed over 50,000 Shopify stores. And over the past 4 years, they have actually specialized in creating high converting and profitable stores. And something else that will make using this good for you is that they offer support throughout your entire journey. And that's what really makes this the #1 place to buy a Shopify store in 2024. So now we're about to move on to a part that I know many of you have questions about, and that's how do I get a manufacturer? Now, Kelvin was lucky again because the person that is designing his clothing for him actually produces clothing too. So he's pretty much his manufacturer, but everybody is not as lucky as that. So one place that I suggest that you go to, that a lot of people go to, including your favorite big brands, is going to be Alibaba. And when I say some of your favorite brands is selling some of your favorite products right off of Alibaba, I mean just that. There's a huge brand called the Crayon Case that's based in New Orleans, and Super Scent, who is the owner of it, has actually said that she used Alibaba to sell her cosmetics, and this is a $1 million company.
Alibaba is a perfect way for you to find suppliers. People try to also make fun of Alibaba and make it seem like Alibaba is a place where you shouldn't shop for supplies. Yes, it is.
Now, I will let you know from jump, this part is going to be tedious, trying to find the right manufacturer. There's honestly no easy way to do this. It's going to come with a lot of trial and error. And you can just search for clothing manufacturers on Alibaba. You can request samples so that you can try it out, get a feel of the material, make sure it's something that you like. And please keep in mind, many people have said to try to avoid Pakistan manufacturers, although their prices may be better and they may be easier to work with. A lot of people are finding that they are getting scammed by them. So you may just want to stick to the Chinese manufacturers here. But one way I can say kind of make this process a little easier for you is if you go to the bottom of Alibaba.com and you select request for quotation, you can actually enter in what it is that you are looking for them to create and add that mock photo that you worked on with Photopea or that you got someone to create on Fiverr, what'll happen then, Alibaba will send that out to manufacturers, and then you'll start to have people reach out to you that feel like they can create that design. So that'll kind of save you a little bit of work, although you're still going to have to try these people out, request samples and everything. But just keep in mind, this entire thing, building a brand, is not going to be an overnight process. It's going to take a lot of work, but it is going to be worth it. So I just wanted to share some of the steps again that my husband has been taking up until this point. We'll continue to update you on this process, let you know exactly what he's doing. When he finds more things that he feels like will be helpful to you, he'll actually come on the channel and start sharing some things in his journey behind the scenes, how much he's making, all of those great things. So make sure you subscribe so that you can stay up to date with that. Other than that, I thank you so much for watching. Please like this video because it helps me out. And until next time, we are out. Peace.